Good afternoon to one and all. I am Pandian. As ma'am introduced me, I am Faculty of Geography in Chinmay Academy for Civil Service. I have 11 years experience in teaching for civil service coaching. I am specialized in geography subject. I took geography as optional. I have given 3 times mains and interview also in UPSC and in state services. I have been selected, but I did not join for various reasons. So here I want to share some of my knowledge related to geography to all of you. Here, I don't know what is your optional subject, but at the end, I will give you some information related to the optional geography. First, I want to discuss about the GS geography. In GS, the geography syllabus mentioned as that is the world economic, physical, economic, social geography. That is the word, that is the syllabus mentioned in the geography. So here they have holistically covered the geography up to degree standard. So here simply they used 3 keywords: physical, economic, and social geography. But it includes the whole subject up to BSc degree standard. Generally, what students are asking is, sir, I am not able to attend geography questions in prelims and also in mains correctly. Out of 10 questions, I am able to attend only 3 or 4 questions correctly. But in case of history and other subjects, I am able to attend 7 or 8 correctly. Why? What is the reason for this? Generally, students are asking this. I used to say that non-history background students shall attend history questions correctly. Similarly, the political science and public administration background is not needed for attending polity questions in GS. But in geography, you need some special knowledge about geography. Then only you will be able to attend. Have I to take geography as optional? I don't like geography, so I want to take political science as my optional. You may say like this: yes, I am not compelling anyone to take geography as optional to get a good score in GS, both in prelims and mains. How is it possible? There is a way to prepare every subject. For example, in case of geography, you have to concentrate on few areas only. It is not reducing our burden. It is a smart work. That is, if you cover these topics, then you will be able to attend other topics easily. How is it possible? I will explain. Next, most of the geography questions in prelims, for example, 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 questions are map based questions, atlas based questions. That is why the students who do not have geography background is not able to attend this, not able to attend the questions, geography questions. So that is the problem. So what we have to do? Are we to take atlas into consideration while preparing for GS geography? Yes, it is a must. But I have seen in many places that students never bring their atlas to geography class. This is a trend. This is not correct way of studying geography. Questions will be related to the current affairs and the atlas. For example, here once they asked, what is the shortest distance between India and Sri Lanka? This question was asked. Why? Because in those years, there was some insurgency problem in Sri Lanka. So what the people did, they studied about the ethnic insurgency and other problems of Sri Lanka. They did not study about the map, but in a Hindu newspaper and other newspapers, it came regularly. This part of the map came regularly, in which they mentioned some places between India and Sri Lanka. That is border areas between India and Sri Lanka. And in Kuller geography book, Indian geography book, Kuller, the shortest distance between India and Sri Lanka is mentioned. That is a 32-kilometer distance between India and Sri Lanka mentioned. So they took Kuller as a reference, and they took the maps came in newspapers as the current affairs reference, and they asked this question. Similarly, in the recent years, students asked me, sir, there is a problem in Syria, Lebanon, in West Asia. So what kind of questions shall we expect? The students asked me. Then I told them, you have to refer the map atlas. Why? It comes in newspapers regularly. The atlas map comes in newspaper regularly. So the questions will be related to the map, will be based on the map. I told. After attending, the students had told me, yes, sir, you are right. You guided correctly. Like that, they told. Here, this is West Asia. Okay, Arabian Peninsula. Then this side Iran, plateau of Iran is mentioned here. Then this side Iraq and other countries are there. Here, Turkey, Syria and other countries are here. Here in the world regional geography, we will be teaching about important cities. For example, in Syria, Turkey, there are some places where agriculture is good. So we have to refer those areas, because every day the bomb is blasted in these cities. Environmentalists are worrying on one side, on other side the people are suffering. They were depending on the agriculture only, but now they have migrated to safer places. In future, they will not be able to cultivate that land properly. Why? It is devastated, completely devastated by bomb blast. So this is the situation there. So I told them, it comes in newspaper daily. The Alipur and other cities, they are affected by the bomb blast. So you please refer those cities. They will be asking those cities only. Like that, I advised them. Similarly, a question came. Country and important cities which came in news. So while referring the newspaper, the students are not bothering about the places mentioned in the newspapers. Here Aleppo, it is mentioned. I hope it is visible to you. Aleppo. Okay. So it is one of the agriculturally prosperous city of West Asia. West Asia is a desert. That is a dry, arid or semi-arid. These places are getting some rainfall. Then the coastal districts, the Tripoli, Beirut, Haifa, these cities are also getting rainfall. So with the help of that rainfall, they are cultivating crops. So these cities are agriculturally good. But now it is completely destroyed by separatist groups, terrorist groups. but they never ask the issues in prelims. In mains only they will be asking. But in prelims, they will ask the country and the important city in that country. This is world regional geography. Okay, so you have to refer in this way. Then once it came in news, that is in Asia, sea piracy was the major problem. Once, not now. Now it is almost controlled. Here I want to show a place, a land that is here they have mentioned Isthmus of Kra. Okay, here Isthmus of Kra between the Gulf of Thailand. Okay, okay, Gulf of Thailand on one side. On other side, we have Andaman Sea. Okay, I have referred this place. Here, this country, this white patch is Thailand. Here there is a border. North of this border, the country is Myanmar. Okay, now I am going to the Asia map. If it is not audible, please ask me. Okay, I will increase my voice. So here in Asia, I refer the same. So you can find the same Gulf of Thailand on one side. On other side, they have mentioned Bay of Bengal. But between the Andaman and Myanmar, there is a small sea, that is Andaman Sea. Okay. Why it came in news? What kind of question they asked? Here, this isthmus is to be cut to reduce the traveling distance between the energy resource rich region of Asia. What is this region? West Asia. This is energy resource rich region. Persian Gulf. Gulf countries, you might have studied, you might have heard about the Gulf countries. The countries surrounding the Gulf. So energy resource rich region and the energy wanted region, that is the Japan and China. South Korea. Japan, this is Japan, Tokyo is mentioned here. Then this one is South Korea. Then China. These three countries are East Asian countries. They need more energy. They are, that is, apart from China, the two countries are developed countries. China is fastest growing, competing with India, but now India is India has overtaken China. So here it is one of the fastest growing country in the world. So they need energy. So they have to take energy from West Asia to the East Asia via the Strait of Malacca. Where is the Strait of Malacca located? Here. It is located here. So from here they have to come to Karachi, Mumbai, then Thiruvananthapuram, then Colombo, then other cities. Then they have to reach Strait of Malacca. Then here the South China Sea, East China Sea. Then they have to reach their respective countries. This is the sea route. But Strait of Malacca is famous for sea piracy. Not only now, since ancient period. You might have studied about Rajendra Chola. He invaded this region and he is called as Kadaram Kondan or Kadaram Vindran. In Tamil, it is the title, that is, who has won the war in this region, Southeast Asia. That is the meaning of that name, title given to Rajendra Chola. Why did he invade this region? He was ruling this region, Tanjore and surrounding region in Tamil Nadu. But why did he go to this region? It was because the people from Chola kingdom went to Southeast Asia for a trade purpose. The main source of income for the king was the trade, But they complained the Rajendra Chola, that we are not able to get profit in our trade because the sea piracy is prevalent in this Strait of Malacca region. Then Rajendra Chola warned this king, that is Sri Vijaya dynasty king, to control sea piracy. But he did not take any action. He could not take any action. That was true. So what he did, Rajendra himself invaded this region, and he took action against the pirates, and he occupied this territory. That is why he was called as conqueror of this region. Kadaram Vendran, conqueror of this region. Then later he gave this region to the king, respective king, and asked him to maintain peace and security to the traders in this region. So since ancient period, the piracy was prevalent here, but now it is somewhat controlled in the modern time. Anyway, it is the busiest sea route, one of the busiest sea route in the world. From west to east in Asia, if you want to travel, you have to cross the Strait of Malacca. It is a compulsory. Okay, so what happened here in those days, that is happening today also. So what idea we evolved over the period of time? That is, instead of traveling via Strait of Malacca, shall we travel via the Isthmus of Kra? Yes. How is it possible? By digging a canal. By digging a canal. Here, it is a narrow stretch of land. What is Isthmus? We will be studying in detail the geography. At that time also I will be telling you. But now, what is Isthmus? A narrow land connecting two big land masses. That is Malay Peninsula, Malaysia, and this Thailand, Myanmar region. Two big land masses are connected by a narrow land, that is Isthmus. It is easy to dig a canal here. If I cut a canal, then the ships are to travel via this directly into Gulf of Thailand, then South China Sea, then East China Sea in this route. Here two advantages are there. Number one, we can avoid the traveling distance by bypassing our sea route via this canal. Next, we can avoid piracy also. In the newly formed canal region, we can have control, more control, like the international sea routes at various places. We can have more control. So that is also possible here. Okay, so this was in news at that time when it was asked in UPSC prelims. So here the students who do not have geography background will not be able to attend this question properly because they are not familiar with the atlas. So my kind advice is, please use atlas while studying geography. in current affairs and also in the traditional way. That is from the books. When you refer the geography, you have to refer atlas also. Next, the same kind of question I expect for the past few years, but they have not yet asked it. But in future, they may ask. Okay, what is that question? I'm coming to that. Because when we study one question, when we understand one question, we will be able to find out. Sorry, I'm coming. We will be able to find the same type of question may be asked. What is that? I'm coming to this. So here, you can find the Panama city. It is mentioned here. Okay, Panama city. Here there is a canal, Panama Canal. Before digging of this canal, the people were to travel thousands of miles extra distance to reach from western side of North America to eastern side, particularly towards Europe. When they travel, they had to travel, they had to roam about from west to east. If I want to travel, earlier what I did, I used to travel like this. I roamed about the South America, thousands of miles. All here. Natural lakes. 1 second. So here they were natural lakes, that is Gatun Lake and other lakes. So on a land, if there are lakes, natural lakes originally located, okay, then we need to dig canal for this distance, and this distance to connect them. That's all. We need not to cut the whole isthmus. This Panama, this land of Panama is called as Isthmus of Panama. Okay. Similarly, here you can find Lake Managua, Lake Nicaragua. So here also I need to dig a canal by connecting these lakes. So what shall I do? I can make a canal to compete with the Panama Canal. I can get royalty from the ships traveling through my canal. So this is the plan of this country Nicaragua. Okay, so in this way, we will have some idea while reading some current affairs. So you can expect these kind of questions also. So what I want to convey is, out of 10 questions, 6 or 7 are based on map only. So that is very, very important. Next, in GS, in our syllabus, we have international relations in both prelims and mains. In that, we have to study about the border areas. India-China border issue. What is the dispute between India and China? What is the dispute in a river water sharing between India and Bangladesh? These kind of questions will be asked generally in prelims and also in mains. So what we have to do? We have to refer those border disputes, international water disputes. That will help us to attend the questions correctly. That is on one side. On other side, environmental issues will be asked. Generally, they will be asking the environment questions, but it will be overlapping with those questions will be overlapping with geography. For example, here in West Asia, particularly in Israel, Palestine, and other areas, there were war, battles, particularly in 2006-7, they were fighting. Israel and Lebanon were fighting. So at that time, what they asked about the countries which are bordering this Mediterranean Sea. That is very, very important. Next, they asked about the Golan Heights, very, very important place, because they came in news. What is this Golan Heights? It is one of the territory which is under the control of United Nations peacekeeping mission. Why? The border countries, Lebanon, Syria, Israel, all are fighting in this region. So in order to maintain peace in this region, United Nations has taken into control by standing their peacekeeping force. This region is demarcated separately. You can find the border. Here they have mentioned the border, Golan Heights. It does not belong to any country as of now. It is under the control of UN peacekeeping mission. So in that year, they asked about the Golan Heights, and they asked about the countries which have the Mediterranean coast. Why? In geography, we will be studying about these cities. Okay? Which of the following cities are experiencing the Mediterranean climate? That is a famous question, both in optional paper in those days and in GS. Then, which country is bordering the Mediterranean Sea? Because that country will be experiencing the Mediterranean climate. Okay. So here you can find this Mediterranean Sea. It is mentioned Mediterranean Sea. Then the countries, Turkey, Syria, okay, Lebanon, Israel, all countries, including Palestine. Palestine has two parts. One is West Bank, another one is Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip has the border with the Mediterranean Sea. So which of the following country, West Asian country, does not have border? Iraq. Correct? So similarly, other countries will be given in choice. So they never focus on the issues in this region when they ask questions in geography, not in GS. Okay, in GS World International Affairs question, they may be asking what is the issue in West Asia. They will be asking, but related to geography, they will be asking these questions only. Okay, so you have to refer atlas always. This is my kind advice. On the first day, students will be telling that, sir, how can I remember these many places? How can I understand these things? Okay, if you study well for 3 months the geography with the help of atlas, then you will be understanding the map easily. You will be remembering the places in the world, different places in different parts of the world. That assurance I will be giving to you. This is on one side. Then when you come to main examination, they have given clearly in our syllabus that they will be asking salient features of physical geography. Next, resources, important mineral resources and other oil and gas, energy resources and other resources and their distribution. In particular, that is a particular reference to South Asia and India. That question will be, I will show the syllabus. Here, salient features of world physical geography. In prelims, what they have given in our syllabus, physical, economic and social geography. But here, physical is mentioned separately. Then natural resources, factors responsible for location of primary, secondary and tertiary industries. They are all related to economic geography. But you need not to study all the portions of economic geography, the entire economic geography. You have to refer sorry, ma. There was an error in our connection. Sorry, ma, I will repeat. In case of economic geography, they will be asking from these areas only the questions. UPSC never deviate from the syllabus generally. It never deviates from the syllabus. So you have to refer these areas only. Next, important geophysical phenomena, that is earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, etc. The last one is geographical features and their location. Important geographical features and their locations. Changes in critical geographical features. And in flora and in fauna. Changes in flora and fauna. And the effect of such changes. So these are related to biogeography, environmental geography. Again, tsunami, volcanic activity are all related to environmental geography only. Okay, so here syllabus is restricted you need not to worry about the vast syllabus of prelims. While preparing for mains, you have to concentrate on these areas only. But for prelims, you have to study the whole physical geography, economic geography, then social geography. Physical geography includes geomorphology, climatology. For that, I take the help of this, that is optional geography syllabus. So if you take the optional geography syllabus, then it is to be covered for prelims. So what question will you ask? That is, how can we study the geography up to optional standard for GS? My optional subject is different. So what shall I do? Like that you will be asking. For that, I am going to give a clue how to study geography for prelims. So here in prelims, they have given a single sentence in that they mentioned about the physical geography. Physical geography includes geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, biogeography, environmental geography. 5 areas. But in a single word, they mentioned this as a physical, that's all. Then social geography. It will include the human geography, economic geography, not economic, population and settlement. Okay. So this is related to social. But in economic geography, the economic geography, which will include the industries, agriculture, resources, that is economic geography. Then regional planning and other things are there. But models and theories are not important for you, for prelims, GS purpose. So how can I cover this lengthy syllabus? That is the question asked by the students. You restrict your study material to few books, that is 6th to 12th geography part of NCERT, from 6th to 10th in social science, geography is there, refer those areas only. Then in 11th and 12th, we have world physical and human geography, India physical and economic geography, economic and human geography. 4 books are enough, along with certificate of a physical geography. So we have reduced the content. Are they enough? Are these books enough? Yes, they are enough. Why? How? They have asked the questions so far from these books only. Even for optional geography up to 2008, they asked questions from these books only for optional subjects in prelims. And even today, if you take these books into reference, you can find the questions asked in mains in these books. Industrial location factors. It is clearly, vividly described in NCERT books. Those areas have been asked so far in main examination. So what we have to do, we have to read the same book again and again. Then we have to take into consideration the current affairs issues. For example, in world physical geography, they asked one question that was related to climatology in that year. In 2008, I think, they asked a question. It was related to the current affairs. In current affairs, it came in news. It comes in news every year. That is, in Mascarin Ridge region. Here, Mascarin Ridge is located. It is not mentioned here. I come to the world map. What is the pressure in this Mascarin Ridge will determine the efficiency, the success and failure of Indian monsoon. So here it comes in newspaper in the month of March and April every year. In that they will be saying that the pressure developed in Mascarin Ridge is not up to the level which is required to make Indian monsoon successful. So this year our monsoon may fail. Next year they will be mentioning that our Mascarin Ridge region has developed enough pressure to push. Here there is one patch, no? This light color Seychelles is written, no? There is one light color, no? That is Mascarin Ridge. Okay, this, sorry, this is Mascarin Ridge. It can also be called as Madagascar Ridge. Madagascar is located here only. Okay, if pressure is enough to push the trade winds, you have not yet studied the technical trade winds, technical terms I know, but I am saying simply the winds are coming from the south. Okay, they are coming from southeast direction. Generally, it is the practice to name a wind from the direction from which they are coming. So from southeast they are coming, because in map in school days you might have studied about the directions. That is north, then this is north, this is south, this is east. It is our practice, okay, to refer. While referring the atlas, we refer in this way. So here from southeast it is coming. So this southeast trade wind is to be pushed for crossing the equator. This is equator, 0° longitude, 0° longitude, sorry, 0° latitude. 0° latitude is the equator. Is to the pressure here is to push the wind to cross equator. After crossing this equator, the wind will be turning towards India. Wind will be turning towards Somalia. This is Somalia, the country which is located here is Somalia. The wind will be turning, will be touching here the Yemen and will be turning towards India. Wind will be touching the Pakistan and will be turning towards the east. So what will happen here? Here, the India will receive monsoon along with the other countries also. Monsoon is a seasonal wind. So it will be getting, these countries will be getting rain in one season during monsoon season. During other season, they will not be able to get a rainfall. Alternate wet and dry season will be there. So here the pressure developed in this region in the month of March, April, May, June is very, very important. It should be very high to push this wind. After crossing, it will turn towards India because of Coriolis force. That is because of rotation of the earth. We need not to concentrate on that now. Later on, when you study the subject, you will understand. So they asked this in prelims. Similarly, what is happening in South Pacific Ocean will be affecting India and other monsoon countries. What is that? That is El Nino or La Nina effect. So here it is the Pacific Ocean. Okay, this is the Pacific Ocean. So I can take Australia from here to this side, or the South America this side, anyway. So here, if you take, I will come to that. One second. So here I take the South America. Okay, here. South America is located here only. Okay, I have drawn in big size. You need not to refer this actual size. Okay, you have to take this size. Okay, which is the here. Then here North America is located. This is a Pacific Ocean. This ocean is the largest ocean. This ocean is the largest ocean of the world. It is triangular in shape, but in our NCERT book, they have mentioned it as circular shaped ocean. In this ocean, in the southern part, here in the southern part, a phenomena will be taking place. That is El Nino and La Nina events. They will be affecting Indian monsoon. So every year from February or March to June 1st, that is the date of onset of Indian monsoon. It will be coming. This year in the month of December, there is El Nino effect in South Pacific Ocean, Southern Pacific Ocean, that will affect the monsoon next year in the month of June. So that will be asked regularly. Okay, they have asked questions related to El Nino and its impact on India every year, either in prelims or in mains. In optional, they will be asking. That is a different. Okay. Next, here it comes in newspaper from February or March to June. In science and technology column, it comes in every newspaper. So when you refer this, you have to take a geography subject into consideration. While studying the current affairs, you have to take geography subject into consideration. That is very, very important. Okay.